So firstly, we just want to thank everybody who signed the Polio Register, which is what we're just going to very briefly talk to you about this afternoon. There's some of you are here that have come to us via the register, and you're very, very welcome if it's your first time at a Polio Survivors Ireland conference. We launched the register in 2017, and the point was to promote Polio Survivors Ireland, increase contact with survivors who might need our services and support and who are affected by late effects of polio or post-polio syndrome, and also to promote membership. But it also gave us an opportunity to inform health and medical professionals and to help educate them about the issues facing polio survivors, and it's been a fantastic talking point for us in getting to know people and in also getting some media coverage.
Sorry, the slides are a little bit mixed up, but I'm just going to briefly talk about the actual register and the numbers for 2018. So the first number there is in the Polio Register in 2018, 261 people joined the register, which is a very large number of polio survivors. We think it's been very successful ourselves. So, people that converted from the Polio Register to members were 40 people. Now we're still getting people from last year joining members in 2019, so it can be a slow process. Some people take their time to join, but it was quite a large number. And the last number there is the total numbers of members that joined last year, which is 54, which was quite a large number as well. And we feel that that extra number as well would have been people who not quite necessarily joined the register, but would have heard through different channels and then contacted us directly, and they joined. So we're very happy with that. So I suppose this one is just on the register form. There's a tick box saying, how did you hear about the register? So it's really interesting to see that we did a radio campaign. Emma will talk about that. And 77 people joined through the radio campaign. And we also find though that people might have seen it on the radio or saw it online or in their doctor's surgery, so there's multiple ways people, but it was the radio with 77, the leaflet, which is the one that would have been out in the doctor's surgeries and hospitals, was 71, and then newspapers were 42. So it's been, what we've found over the years, different areas, and going forward we can see how we can recruit, or not recruit, but to promote the register in different areas. So that's me.
So we sort of put the cart before the horse there. We told you what we did, and now we're going to tell you how we did what we did. So just to point out, because I know it's obviously a big issue as to whether we're getting enough coverage in the media, these are all the different media outlets in which we had coverage over the year 2018, and it varies from the big ones such as the Independent, the Irish Times, some of the nationals like the Irish Sun, I think the Mirror might be in there, and then some of the regional ones as well, which are very important for us. We had coverage in the Irish Times in February of last year. That's Barbara McDonough. I'm not sure if Barbara's here today, but she did a fantastic interview, and that came out at a really good time. It was just before the first Justice for Polio Survivors campaign, so the timing was great. That was coverage we got in the Irish Times from World Polio Day. It's a photograph of some of our members, and we were highlighting the issue of customised shoes. And again, focusing on the medical profession, we did have information on our polio register in the Medical Independent. So we're very pleased about that. We find local media is really, really important. There's people here from all over the country, and we would urge anyone who has any connections in the media on a local basis to let us know. We're always looking for people to join our publicity and campaigns network, and to help us to get information in the local papers if you know somebody. The story there on the left is Cork's Chill Out Day, and we got to talk about the register. Evelyn's smiling at me, she helped us get that in there. And also when we have any kind of events at all, such as a conference like this, we're able to tell the local media and send a photograph of what's happening, and we'll do that after today. And we also did send them a press release in the local Limerick and Cork media to say that we were having the conference here. So it's all about getting the word out any way that we can. A lot of you might know the story if you've read How We Survived and Surprised. Louise Heals is written by Anne Shanahan, and it's a lovely story, and we were delighted to get that featured in Ireland's Own. And we were delighted that they featured our polio register ad a week later. And they've actually since published it again, so we're hoping to get more stories in there. So it's another way that we can kind of get the word out there. So it's talking about one thing, but also get to talk about what we really want to talk about at the same time. I put this slide in. I know a lot of people follow our Facebook page and like and share, but I would also ask you, are you actually liking our page? As in, have you ticked that little blue button that means you'll see our posts? And if you're seeing our posts and you like something, people you're connected to will see our posts. And it's another way for us to really, really push our messages out to a bigger audience, not just all of you, not just polio survivors, but friends, family, and another way of getting to people we want to, such as medical professionals who are all on social media. We've managed to grow our social media following by about 100 each year on Twitter, LinkedIn and Facebook. And Facebook and Twitter is where we're most active. And you can see there how colourful it can look and how photos can catch people's attention. And the other graphic there is just a sample of our polio register news, which is a new email and print out e-sign we send out to people who've joined the polio register and who want to be contacted. So we're doing anything we can to try and keep on communicating with the general public. Going back to the polio register and what we did to get all those figures that Niamh has just given us, we had the Inform campaign, which meant basically that leaflets were left in nearly every GP surgery or waiting room where there is an Inform stand, and we found that very successful. We launched the polio register in Cork, as it happens, at the Cork 50 Plus show. We did a national launch which involved an ad on RTE radio, and we sent information out to physios, OTs, podiatrists and pharmacies, and we also had our national network supporting the work that we did. And this ad there is the one that appeared in the Irish Independent. We ran 2 ads there, so we'll do something similar again this year to try and get the same sort of activity. And I'll just play, in case any of you didn't hear, I'll play our ad that was played on RTE radio. Except that I won't, because it's not working. So, if anybody wants to hear it, come see me later. So I won't keep you too much longer from lunch. Plans for 2019 is to do more network activity, getting people who are on the networks to get the message out there in their local areas as much as they can, and for us to keep doing training and engaging with them. The Inform leaflet is in GP surgeries at the moment. It's a 3-month campaign that we're running, so and they Inform have been very good to us. They're the company that put the leaflets in, and they've left them there for a little bit longer than we've actually been arranged to have them there. And we also have digital displays. It's all gone very modern. We have launched our polio register in Kildare. We're getting great use out of that pencil, as you can see. And we brought it, we kind of nicknamed it the surfboard in the office, because someone at an expo said, "Is that a surfboard you're carrying around?" So please come and see us at the recruitment stand, and you can have your photograph taken with it too. And then we hope to do more work on highlighting the issue around customized shoes and the costs of aids and appliances, and obviously World Polio Day as well. And that's just one of our recent meetings that we had in Dublin with our 3 networks and people involved in that, and they all went away with jobs. And if any of you are here, I hope you're doing those jobs. But it's just about doing small things and maybe doing 1 or 2 or 3 little things that can make a big, big difference to an organisation like this. And that is it. The good news, I think, is that it's now lunchtime. Thank you all very much.
Does anybody want to ask any questions? Stand back. John? Sorry, John, I'll just bring the microphone down to you.
1, 2.
If you've been a member of the polio group for some years, you still need to go put your name on the register.
No, Joan, it's just for anybody who's currently a member and does not register with the polio register. It's just for people that are new or just want to.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Joan. That's a good question. Anybody else? Sorry, I can hear Tommy's.
Just to say well done to you for doing such a good job on it.
Thanks very much. We're actually extremely proud of that. So
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, Dave. And just a few pointers before lunch. There are a number of stands in the hall, so if you'd like to actually check the stands for information, particularly on the handouts, which will be important this afternoon, the various addresses from the treasurer, myself, etc. There's hard copies of them in the hall. And also, one of the particular stands I want to draw your attention to, it's the stand just straight outside the door, where it's a research stand where Beaumont is involved. Like, you may remember last year, Beaumont wanted a number of survivors to do investigations of the strength of polio survivors, the muscle strength, etc. And they've got 176 responses, and they're actually analysing the data now. But like all polio survivors, they're very difficult, so it's taken a while for them to analyse the data, but it'll be available in the near future. But they have another project research which could be very interesting, and just to actually quote, it's a research study to evaluate brain changes in polio survivors using a state-of-the-art MRI scanner. So I've signed myself up because I said there are a lot of brain changes happening in my mind at the moment that I'd like to obviously have quantified and tracked. So they said that's fine. So, but it'd be very interesting, for example, and there's nothing invasive involved in the research. So if people are interested in the research, it's a research project between Trinity and Beaumont Hospital, which was similar to last year. So that's the particular stand outside. So there are other stands which may be of interest to people. And I'd just like to introduce the staff that we actually have. Well, you've obviously met Emma and Neil. And there's Kerry, for example, you may not have met Kerry so far. And there's Ciara and Paul Turner, who's our admin officer outside, and Geraldine Martin. And the young lady that I have to introduce, who's actually an intern, who's actually been involved in the computer, and here she is, Giselle Suarez. And the last pointer, the Survivor magazine, you know, we've got the sweepstake for the Survivor. The closing date for the sweepstake today is 2:30, so you can actually fill it in over lunchtime. And now, try and be back for lunch, after lunch, by 2:15 latest. Enjoy your lunch. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.